Right, so let's start. It doesn't look like there's more people coming. So sitting up nice and straight and comfortable. I always sit in the cross-legged lotus position, but that's because that's what's comfortable for me. But maybe find a position that's good for you. So it might be just legs crossed normally with a cushion underneath you so that your spine is nice and straight. Maybe it's on the front, sitting on a chair, near the front of the chair with your feet flat. Maybe you're even lying down, and if so, either lying flat on your back or preferably on your right side with your right hand supporting the head, left hand along the flank of the body. So that's also possible. So just take a moment just to feel the body, and maybe sitting in this posture, you have a little bit of tension somewhere. So scanning from the top of the head, scanning all the way down, from the top of the head, through the face, the jaw, the neck. So feel down the neck, the back of the neck, down to the base of the neck and the throat. Feel if there's any tension there. There might very well be tension there. The shoulders, the upper back. Maybe you have some tension in the chest. So just observe what's happening in the body. Be aware. And then if you feel any tension or any discomfort, maybe just move the body a little bit, reset it in a good spot. Tension in the neck, maybe turning the head from side to side or up and down a few times. And just letting the neck rest normally. The shoulders, if there's any tension, just shrug them a few times up and down and then just let them relax. For tension in the lower back, a good way to release the tension there, to take a deep breath in and stretch up. And as you exhale, you come forward, bring the body all the way forward. I'm not going to do that because I'm smashing into my computer here if I do that, but all the way forward. Bring the body down, so bring a nice big stretch into the lower back. And inhaling, coming up again. And then scanning further down the body, maybe you have tension in the lower back, maybe it's in the legs, maybe it's in the stomach, maybe we have some anxiety and it kind of wells up there. So just be aware. So bringing awareness into the body. Being aware of what is happening in the body. When we're aware of what's actually happening in the body, we can be much more clear of how to improve or increase relaxation, or how to anticipate tension. We all know that tension in the body builds up slowly, and in the end it has a feedback loop with the mind and a feedback loop into the emotions. So the more tense we are, the more irritable we are. The more irritable we are, the more tense we become. So it's a kind of a cyclical downward spiral situation. So when we're aware of that, we can start to use any methods that we have to mitigate that. So for instance, when you have tension in the upper body, we can do some stretches, we can do some movements, and then when that tension is released, the mind is also a bit more free to be clear about what's happening. So this way the body itself can be a tool to enhance awareness. Because we want to create a state of holistic awareness and unbroken awareness, where the body and the mind are in a kind of a union state, right? So we're not the body, we're not the mind, but we need to be aware of these things because we inhabit them, we experience them. When we don't experience them, when we reject them, when we are oblivious to them, they become unwell and unhealthy. And this is the same for emotions as well. If we don't pay attention to our emotions or become aware of what we're feeling, our emotions can often become either incredibly suppressed and lead to kind of subconscious problems, or our emotions become maybe more exaggerated when we're not paying attention to what they are, but we just experience them and act out on them. We can become more explosive and carried away by emotions rather than just seeing it for what it is, an emotion. Right. So this active awareness throughout the body and what we experience, that dimension of our experience, body, speech, mind, body, feelings, thoughts, this entire experience. When we have unbroken awareness of that, we can live more fully and more clearly. We can make clearer decisions. We're more in control of ourselves. We're more in control of improving our lives. We're more in control of lessening things that we can remedy that are negative for us. So just keeping that in mind. This is kind of one of the main goals of meditation, is this awareness of ourselves. So that's not to become self-obsessed or self-centered, but self-aware. When we honestly and openly look at ourselves. So one of the best ways to really be clear about this is to use the mind as a magnifying glass to see itself. So we can use the analogy, and I think this is a good analogy. We've got a glass of tea here, and you can see it's like ginger tea, and it's not super clear. And this is a good example for our mind. When it's stirred up and it's moving, it becomes more and more hazy and unclear, and we can't see anything. Unclear and gross. And slowly, as we leave it to settle, sediment and what's in the water separates, and the water becomes clear, and we can see with clarity what's happening there. So this is one of the main goals of meditation. So with that in mind, we'll start our breathing meditation practice. So a meditation on breath, using the mind as a magnifying glass to focus on the breath, to become concentrated and calm. So I've explained this a few times, and I'll just explain one more time. Meditation on the breath is an awareness of the breath. Sorry, I'll just let this truck come past. Is an awareness of the breath. So whatever method you use to enhance awareness in the breath is fine. It might be the sensation of breath at the tip of the nose. It might be the rise and fall of the abdomen. It might be the whole breath from the beginning down to the bottom of the lungs, and then exhaling again through the nose. It can be anything related to that, but we want to keep an unbroken awareness on the breath, and that way the mind becomes calm and concentrated. So at first the mind is very reluctant to stay put. It likes to jump from here and there, which is its habit. It's completely normal for that to happen. But in this case, we want to bring the mind back again and again and again. So don't feel that you can't do this or it's very difficult. It is somewhat difficult. But the act that you bring it back again and again and again is, in this case, the practice of the meditation. As you become more and more skilled at it, the practice will be keeping the mind with an unbroken awareness on the breath. And as that develops further and further, either the mind becomes more and more concentrated where you only have the breath, or the mind becomes more and more aware, and you can expand the mind's awareness. So we'll start with the first steps, which is just being aware of the breath. So having eyes either open or closed, sitting in your comfortable posture, we'll sit for a few minutes and just meditate on the breath. From time to time, you will hear a bell. At the next bell will be the end of the session. But from time to time, I will remind you to come back to the breath. You can use the counting technique of counting each breath up till 10. When you get distracted, you start at 1. When you get to 10, you start at 1. When you're thinking of what you're going to do after coronavirus lockdown, come back to 1. When you find yourself at 15, 20, count back to 1. So tethering the mind to the breath, the sensation of the breath. So moving the palms together, bringing some heat into the hands. Place the warm palms on the face and the eyes. Maybe start to move the body a little bit. And so I was just wondering, does anybody have any questions about this method or this practice? Anybody? No?
No.
No questions. All right, cool. So what I think would be a nice thing to do is just we'll take like a short little break before we start meditating again. And how to keep the practice going while having a little break is to do a little bit of walking meditation. So if you have a spot in your room that you're in, I know not everybody does. I know I don't have such a big spot, but you see what you can do. Find a little track you can walk up and down, so maybe from one side of the room to the other. Just walk very slowly and keep that mindful awareness either on your breathing again or on the sensation of walking. So the lifting of each foot, moving and placing, lifting, moving and placing until you get to the end of the room. That intention, you're going to turn around, so be aware that you're turning around. And then before you start again, you just gather your awareness, know where you are, and start walking again. We'll do that for 5 minutes. So just to get a little bit of movement in the body, in case you're feeling a little bit stiff or uncomfortable. So do a short little bit of walking meditation. We'll do this for 5 minutes. I'll time that for you. And then we'll reconvene on the meditation seat again. If you don't feel like doing the walking meditation, and perhaps you have a drink or something to drink, you can meditate while drinking, maybe just sitting there. Don't let your thoughts just run off while we're having this short little break. So be aware of lifting the cup, placing the cup against the lips, tasting, swallowing, placing the cup. So just bring that awareness into everything that you're doing. Feel the temperature of the liquid, know the taste. Is it sweet? Is it salty? Is it hot? Is it cold? Bringing that mindful awareness into every action. So whether you're walking or you continue to sit, remain in that state of application of the method of awareness to what you're doing, your action, your thoughts and your emotions. And if you don't know what to do with yourself, you can just sit in a more comfortable way and continue to watch the breath. All right, so coming back to your seat, mindfully and aware, or perhaps finishing your little drink, whatever you have. And so come back to your place again, sitting in a way that's comfortable. We'll do another breath meditation session. And just a tip for home practice. If you feel that sitting this long for 10 minutes at a time or 5 minutes at a time is too long, try with some shorter sessions. So try to do 2 5-minute sessions rather than one 10-minute session, and then slowly, gradually build them up. So for maybe a week, you do 2 5-minute sessions back to back, and then maybe you do 2 6-minute sessions after 2 weeks, and then maybe 2 8-minute sessions, and then maybe 2 10-minute sessions, and then maybe one full 20-minute session or something like this. So expanded and expanded and expanded. Don't try and sit there for half an hour or an hour where you spend 2 minutes meditating and 28 minutes off in la la land. So that's not so helpful. And that will just train your mind to be distracted while you're sitting instead of training the mind to be focused while you're sitting. All right, so let's start another session. In a few seconds, you'll hear the bell to start. And at the end, we'll hear the bell again at the end of the session. Right, so again, beginning to bring some movement into the body, maybe warming up the hands. And now for our next type of meditation, we'll do a much more passive meditation. So what I would like is that you find yourself a very comfortable place to be. So on a couch, maybe on the floor with something warm underneath you and a blanket on top. So lying flat is what I'd like. Lying flat down on the ground. You can have a pillow under your head if you like. Arms should be out to the side, feet slightly apart. Cover yourself up nice and warm. And just bring your awareness into the body. And we can start off with the thumb on the right hand. So bring your awareness to the thumb on the right hand. You can visualize a bright ball of light or a tiny bright dot, or the sensation on the right thumb, whatever works for you. So become aware of the right thumb, the right index finger, right middle finger, the right ring finger, the right pinky finger, the right palm, the right back of hand, the whole of the right hand. Be aware of the whole of the right hand. And then spreading their awareness up the arm, the right wrist, the right forearm, the right elbow and inside of elbow, the right upper arm, so tricep and biceps, the top of the right arm, the right armpits, the right side, down the trunk, the right hip, the right thigh, so top of thigh and back of thigh, right knee and back of knee, right shin and right calf, right ankle, right heel, the sole of the right foot, the arch, the ball of the foot, the right toes, a big toe, second toe, third toe, fourth toe, and fifth toe. The whole of the right foot. So now be aware of the whole of the right side of the body. And bringing that awareness up again from the right ankle, shin, knee, thigh, side, chest, and flip over to the other side. We'll start again with the left thumb, left index finger, left middle finger, left ring finger, left baby finger, palm of the left hand, the back of the left hand, the left wrist, the left forearm, the left elbow and inside of elbow, the left upper arm, so triceps, biceps, and the top of the arm, the left armpit and left side, so down the trunk, the left waist and left hip, left thigh and back of thigh, left knee and back of knee, left shin and left calf, left ankle, left heel, left arch, left sole, the pad and ball of the left foot, the baby toe on the left foot, fourth toe, third toe, second toe, and the big toe. Bring your awareness now to the whole of the left foot, the left shin and left foot, the shin and the thigh, the whole left leg, the entire left side of the body. And shift your awareness now up to the center of the chest and become aware of the breathing. And bring your awareness to the hollow between the two collarbones, throat, back of neck, the lower jaw to the chin, the lower lip, the teeth and gums on the lower jaw, the tongue, and then the palates, teeth on the top, upper jaw, the upper lip, that sensation of the breath on the upper lip. Be aware of the nostrils and the nose. Shift your awareness to the left cheek, the right cheek, the left ear, the right ear, forehead, left eye, right eye, the top of the head. Now shift your awareness from the top of the head, the back of the head, left side, right side. Become aware of the whole head. Then slowly shift your attention back down from the head, the neck, space between the two collarbones, and then resting at the heart in the center of the chest. Not the physical heart, but the heart center, center of the chest. And just let your awareness stay there for a moment. And then when you're ready, slowly bringing a little bit of movement into the fingers and the toes, wiggling them a bit, or perhaps circling wrists and ankles. Take a deep breath in, stretching the arms up behind you. Deep breath in. And breathing out through the mouth. And another time, deep breath in. And breathing out fully through the mouth. And let's take a last breath in. And breathing out. Now slowly opening the eyes and rolling over to the right-hand side. And then in your own time, you can push up with the left hand to bring yourself up to sit again. And that concludes our practice for this week. Please let me know if you have any questions. You can ask me now, you can email me, or whatever works for you. Otherwise, please enjoy your day and have a wonderful, wonderful week. Please keep safe and healthy.
Thanks, Justin.
Pleasure.